An increasingly popular living situation is becoming the go-to for college graduates, known as co-living, where multiple tenants share common areas.
The demand for this cohabiting is high in big cities, of course, like New York, D.C., and L.A., where the rent is extraordinarily high, but it is also creating a sense of community. Here to expand on that is Brad Hargreaves, CEO and founder of Common, a company which works to make living with roommates easier. Brad, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Brad, can I just ask you, is co-living a rebrand of roommates?
It's really making living with roommates better. It's not different per se than, getting together with your friends and renting an apartment. But we often find that, what many people do is they're not necessarily moving on the same timeline or same budget as their friends. So they end up finding people on Craigslist. And moving into a co-living space such as Common is a way to, save some money and also make your living experience better.
So how is it different? Explain to us what Common is exactly.
Yeah, so really what we're doing is creating apartments that are designed with roommates in mind. So rather than going into an apartment that is, wasn't designed for roommates and isn't being operated for roommates, we're basically building ground up multi-bedroom apartments around shared common areas with a set of services programmed in, such as cleaning those common areas to get rid of a lot of the annoyances that roommates face, like dirty roommates, such as buying shared kitchen and bathroom supplies. We supply the paper towels and toilet paper, so you don't have to fight over who's going to go out and do that.
Is this an extension, or was part of the inspiration for the model here, the co-working space phenomenon, which has become much bigger as well, where especially for startups,
right.
Small companies,
WeWork, et cetera.
Exactly, WeWork, and those. Is this an extension of that? Is that how you came to this idea, or?
Yeah, it's inspired by co-working in some points, but it's also inspired by a lot of the history of housing in the United States. This is the way people have lived for a really long time. So it's really taking some new things and some very old things as well. But if you look at co-working, it's really about people sacrificing some private space and access to better and nicer shared spaces than they would be able to afford on their own. Much in the same with co-living. People are sacrificing some private space, saying like, hey, maybe I don't need a private kitchen, but I want to save 20 to 30% on my rent. That's a trade that a lot of people in urban centers are willing to make.
And are there, like in WeWork and other co-working places, there's often an effort at creating a sense of community among the people that are working there. Do you have a similar philosophy at Common?
Absolutely. We want really everyone who moves in to have a warm and friendly experience. And part of that is, when you're waiting on the elevator, you say, how does it connect to you? And you also meet people with shared interests in the building. We have technology that's really focused on connecting people who live at Common with shared interests. We're now 750 residents across 6 cities. So it's important to not just bring people together, but to bring people together around shared interests, whether it's a running club in the morning or watching specific movies. 70% of people who live at Common are new to the city in which they're living. They're moving here for the first time to New York, to DC, to Chicago, to other cities where we have locations, and they're often lonely. And moving into a space like Common is a great way for them to meet other people and make that moving experience better.
Do you get to pick your roommate? How does that work?
Yeah, so some people come with their friends. Other people say, hey, I just need a place at a certain time, at a certain date, and we move them into the first space that's available. That's frankly often the way it works.
And so what is the business model here is that, people can obviously come together and say, we're going to split an apartment. Are you similar to, are you like an Airbnb for roommates?
Yeah, in some respects, this is all long-term though. So it's different than Airbnb in that Airbnb is, mostly a short-term operator, under 30-day stays. At Common, most people are on year-long leases. It's much more about longer stay. People who are moving to a city for a new job, not short-term. What Common does is, we're really focused on the design and operation of these buildings. We partner with real estate developers and investors who are looking to serve a lower price point and differentiate their new buildings coming onto the market.
There's been a lot written about the breakdown of community in the country, Bowling Alone being sort of the seminal book on the issue. Neighborhood organizations are breaking down. Membership in any sort of civic organizations is breaking down. People are connecting online, but they're connecting a lot less in real life. A lot of people describe being sort of lonely and depressed by that. Is that also part of the thinking of what goes on at Common, and also part of the appeal of what you're doing here?
Absolutely. We're seeing more people come to us who are looking for community, who are looking for a place that is a little bit less anonymous. You're seeing a lot of people move to cities by themselves, and there's not a natural or obvious way to build your own social network. And I say that with a little s, offline social network, when you're moving to a new place. And that's challenging for a lot of people. So, having the idea that, hey, you're going to move into a place that's a little bit less anonymous, that's a little bit friendlier than your typical urban apartment building, is very appealing to a lot of people.
All right, Brad, good luck with this, my friend. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
As a native New Yorker, anything, because the rent is too damn high, my friend.
It is too damn high. That is
too
true.
damn high.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. More Rising coming up.